All right. Okay, so welcome to week 6. It's an exciting day. um, week 6, day 26. So this week actually may be one of the toughest just because for some of us, we have to have that constant drive and sweat and breath and like intensity. So this week is actually somewhat of a recovery week because if we can throw this in, if we force ourselves to give our bodies a chance to rest a bit, recover a bit, relax a bit, then we can really super drive our intensity for the remaining, I guess it will be 5 weeks to get us to that week 12 to complete our 60-day set. So even though summer will be closed down by the time the program's over, I still like the name a lot, Strong for Summer. So anyway, it just pushes a new level of intensity in for us. So if you do have any sort of towel, stretchy strap, jump rope, old t-shirt, anything to help facilitate our stretching at the end, then that would be fantastic. And otherwise, we're just going to go through 3 rounds of some core exercises, getting into the glutes, the abductors, adductors, hamstrings, and core. So we're just going to go 1-minute sets for 3 rounds. That'll take us 18 minutes, and then the remainder we will hit up our stretch. So let's just go ahead and get started. Start with your legs straight out in front of you, and I want you to tighten through your low belly, reach over the legs. So you're going to find a little bit of a stretch here. Reach as far as you can. You might not get that far for now. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and start our timer. We're going to slowly roll back, but you stop at your sticky point. So if you get to here and you won't be able to get back up, that's your point. So just hinge forward, feel the belly contract, come back to your point where you're like, that's my big grab in the core, and then reach forward. Otherwise, tuck your chin, come all the way down, reach overhead, push your low back into the ground. If you need to bring your arms forward to come up, go for it. Otherwise, try to keep your biceps up by your ears as long as possible. So if you are tuck the chin, make sure the heels stay on the ground, roll all the way up, hinge forward. At the top, when you reach over the toes, do not relax your core. Inhale as you lower. Exhale as you lift, scoop, scoop. We have 8 seconds left, and our next minute is going to be a glute bridge. Curl. These are not supposed to be fast. Okay. Push your hips up into your glute bridge. Find your contractions here. So kind of wiggle shoulder blades underneath your back. Set up your heels so that they're right in front of your hip joints, shoulder joint, hip joint, knees, and then your heels. Drive into the hips. So push into the heels and pull the heels back toward your shoulders. Stay strong in the core. Pull your knees toward one another. And then try to wrap the muscles into the bone as much as possible. So an isometric grab here. Super strong through those glutes and hamstrings. Deep breaths. Our next exercise is going to be a heel press. So you're going to take both legs up. Wait for the timer though. We're going to take both legs up as straight as possible. And this is where I'm hoping, drop your hips, bring your feet up, flex through your feet. I'm hoping that you've been able to add a little bit of flexibility into your hamstrings. Press your heels straight up, grab through the low abdomen. Make sure you're not holding tension in your neck. Press straight through the heels. Still trying to scoop the belly, so try not to let it protrude as you're pressing those heels up. Keep the press going. After this one, we're going to do a little oblique crunch. Keep pressing through those heels. Belly stays strong. Open across the chest. Should be feeling the heat and the low, low abdomen. Keep pushing. Okay, heels come down. Lift your head and shoulders and then reach side to side. So you're still scooping through the belly. You're reaching with the oblique. Side to side, side to side. Force yourself to reach just a little further than maybe you want. If it's too much on your neck, hold the head with one hand, and then you can switch and hold with the other. Keep it going. Tuck that chin. Grab deeper into the front of the belly, and then feel that pull side to side. Get those obliques. Keep it up. The next exercise, we're going to be on our side, and we're going to be doing a hip thrust. Okay, so hand on the ground, knees together, drop your hips back and down, and then drive them forward in a thrust. Back and down, drive. So at the top, you'll get that shoulder up over the wrist. You'll feel the glutes grab and your inner thighs. Push it in, drop it back. Feels a little funky, may not even feel like a lot, but it's really good for kind of releasing through the SI joint, the piriformis, and building the muscles around those hips. Drive it forward. Feel those obliques still. Strong upper back to support that shoulder. Then we'll hit that other side. Same thing, other side. Stack your knees. Get your shoulder up over the wrist. Drop back. Thrust it forward. There we go. Drop back, forward. Feel the hips drive back. Get that little crease through the hip flexors, and then open the hips. Strong core. Bring my hand in a little closer. Want that shoulder over the wrist at the top. Drive forward. This is our last one of the set. And then we have 2 more sets, starting with that little roll back. Drive it down. Thrust it forward. 3, 2, 1. All right. Back to those roll downs. So reach over those toes. Slowly roll back. I'm going to bend my knees a little bit because I shift. Keep the core contracted. Tuck in. Round. Reach over. Scoop the belly. Inhale down. There's definitely a little shake going on. Roll back nice and slow. Keep that scoop. Take about 4 to 5 seconds for each direction. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. Scoop that belly as you reach over the toes. All right, we have our glute bridges. Feet come down. Hips go up. Feel those glutes flex, the hamstrings flex. Push into the heels, pull the heels back toward your shoulders. You'll feel kind of the tops of the knees then lengthen out. If you want, you can slide your arms up overhead and down, get movement in through the arms and shoulders. Bring them to cactus, spread across the chest, flex through those glutes. Good. Hips stay lifted, belly stays strong. Find your tug of war between the legs. Envision that you're squeezing a block or a ball between your knees. Okay, hips down, legs up, press through those heels. Actively scoop the belly first. If you need to stop and take a normal breath, that's fine. Try to pull those toes back down towards your knees. Press your heels straight up. Don't worry about how high you get then. Worry about contracting in that low abdomen. Come on. Still building some heat. All right. Hitting up our wigglers, so crunch in, wiggle side to side. Reach that hand. Front of the belly stays strong and scooped. And build into those obliques. Keep tucking that chin in. Reach, reach. If you've ever done those standing oblique crunches, it's kind of the feeling we're going for here, but we're getting that added benefit, pushing the low back into the ground to flex deep into those obliques. Okay, we're on our side in the side thrust. So get your fingertips nice and wide, stack your hips, push them forward, drop back, thrust. Belly strong. Feel the glutes push forward. Get those hips open. As the hips hinge back, still feel that lift in the rib cage. That's the way. Keep it up. Feel those inner thighs flex, glutes flex. Other side. Okay, get the stack, push, sit back, drive forward. Good job. Flex into that oblique, flex into the glutes, shoulder up over that wrist. Can feel it on that lower side glute, right where it meets the hamstring. It's good. That's my treble side. This is good for it. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last set through, starting with our rollbacks. Toes are up. Scoop through the belly. Reach over those legs. Slowly curl down. Push low back into the ground. Inhale. Exhale. Lower one vertebra at a time. And then lift one vertebra at a time. Scoop, scoop, scoop. See how much flexion you can grab into in that core and then hold on to as you move along. All right, we're in glute bridges. I say glute bridges, but it's really just a glute bridge. Push into the heels, pull the heels back toward your shoulders. Open the elbows if you'd like. Feel the core still stay strong. Grab through hamstrings, glutes. So I've been asked before too how high you should push your hips. So the higher that you push your hips, then the more arch you put in your low back. So you want to get your height just at that position where you can get kind of a long straight line from shoulders, hips, knees. You're able to push into those heels, pull the heels back. You'll feel the glutes lift, but you don't want to arch the low back. So sometimes some of us might need to drop it just a little. Okay, heel presses, heels to heaven. Pull the toes back and down as much as you can. Low belly grabs. I'm lifting my head a little this time, but you don't have to. It's whatever you feel like gives you that best grab. Sometimes you can get enough grab just by holding the legs back and flexing. Sometimes a flex and a hold can facilitate plenty. All right, feet come down, hinge up, wiggle side to side, getting those obliques. Kind of helps open that thoracic spine as well. Scoop the belly, feel those obliques. Really reach. Keep pushing your low back into the mat. Okay, bring it up. We're going to do those hip thrusts. Stack your knees, stack the shoulders, drop the butt back, thrust forward. Keep that arm straight and strong. Hike the hips up and forward. Feel all those different spots. There's a little stretch, little grab, little flex. You got it. All right, other side. Plant your hand. Open the chest. Hinge the hips back. Thrust. Good job. Slide it forward. Belly strong as you drop the hips. You're not collapsing. You're hinging. Hinge. Thrust. You got it. If it doesn't feel good on your wrist, You can always go knuckles, or you can even try it on your forearm. All right, we made it. Good work, good work. Okay, our last little bit of time. We're gonna stretch it out. We're gonna use our strap to help facilitate a better stretch. So start on your back, and let's just hug the knees in nice and tight. Get your knees close together. So try to get them as close together, touching as you can. Tighten it all in. Few deep breaths. Okay, let your knees widen now. So take them out towards your armpits. Pull there nice and wide. All right, and then go ahead and plant your right foot on the ground. And take your strap or towel or shirt and put it around your left foot. So the arch, inner arch about is the right spot. So the thing here is that you want to get your hip on the ground of that lifting leg. Sometimes people just pull it up as high as they can and then the hips come off the ground. Don't want the hips off the ground. So ground into the hip and kind of let the toe point toward that outside shoulder. So my left leg is lifted. If you're on your left leg, point your toe toward your left shoulder. If you're on the right, it'd be right toe, right shoulder. Spread across your back. Make sure that you're not pulling so much that you're creating tension in the neck and shoulders. Enjoy that expansion, that space in your hamstring. Still got a little sweaty. Felt nice. All right, so I want you to pull your knee straight in toward your armpit or your shoulder. Flex in deep. Pull it in. Create some pressure and flexion in the leg. Okay, pull against that strap, so resist as you press the leg back up straight. Resist it, resist it, resist it. Straighten all the way. Now then one more time. Drop it in. Resist. So you're pulling against it with your arms. Press, press, and then straighten. So sometimes you can get more length in the hamstring once you do that little activation measure. Pull the toe down towards you. Probably make it hurt a little more, but you'll get it back into the back of the knee and then the calf as well. And that's what we want. We want to get it all. All right, so your left foot is in the strap. Left hand is holding the strap. And you're going to take your leg straight out. Keep it straight to the left. So if you get this far and that's your point, stop. You do not need to go all the way down. I'm fairly flexible, so I can go a little bit further, but you need to stop whenever your body says stop. Open out, pull that toe back toward your left shoulder. See if you can get it up toward that left shoulder anymore. Okay, grab into the core, bring that leg back up. Pull it back one more time, stretching that hamstring and behind the calf, behind the knee. Drop that left hip down. Okay, now then you'll have to lengthen your right leg all the way out onto the ground and then switch the strap into your right hand. Toe is still flexed, and slowly take the right foot, your left foot to the right. So you're crossing it over the body. Keep the leg flexed. See if you can rotate the left hand onto the ground and push the left shoulder into the ground. So the more that you pull the left foot up toward the right shoulder, then the more stretch you'll feel through the calf and the glute on that left side. So keep pulling the toe back, stretch through the back side of the knee. That means you don't get as much range, that's fine, but you want to get the stretch in the right spot. A couple more deep breaths. All right, then bring the leg back up to center. And we're going to cross that ankle over the right knee. So left ankle goes over the right knee, flex through both feet, pull in toward your chest. So push your shoulders and hips into the ground a lot, flexing those feet. Try to get your left knee pushing away from the floor. So dig your left elbow into the left knee and push it away from the floor. Feel the glute, hip flexor, inner thigh, kind of wherever your body needs it. You'll feel it. All right, slowly release and let's head up the other side. So now the left foot's on the ground and your right foot is going to go into the strap. Straighten all the way out through the leg, pull the toe back. Remember to keep the hip in the ground. Spread across your shoulders, make sure you're not holding tension in your neck. You want to kind of find that point. You feel the stretch, but you're not in pain. So if your body's in too much pain, it's not going to release and allow the muscles to stretch. Relax and stretch. Pull the toe back down toward your kneecap. Push the back of the knee away from you. Okay, and then gently pull that knee into the chest. Flex into the leg. So resist the press out. Resist. So you're firing up that hamstring. Heating it up. Making it work. Straighten through the leg. Now one more time. Bend the knee in. Resist. Pull against that strap as you're pushing it out. Push through the heel. Back of the knee away from you. The toe comes down. And then you're going to feel that little bit deeper stretch, hopefully. So keep the hip pushed into the ground. Kind of pull the right toe out toward the right shoulder. Spread across your chest. Push into the hips. Okay, put both straps into your right hand. And you're going to open the leg away from you to the right. So right leg goes toward the right side of the room. Pull the toe back towards you. Stay relaxed in the neck and shoulders. You can plant your left leg on the ground if you'd like, straight, or keep it bent with the foot on the ground. So the more that you pull the toe up toward the shoulder, obviously the more stretch you're going to get. Kind of feel that hip flexor open on the left side, and then your groin, hamstring still, calf on the right. All right, use your core. Help lift that leg back up to center. Switch the straps to the left hand. The left leg's going to go onto the ground. And then slowly, keeping that right leg flexed, drop your right leg over the body to the left and push your right hand and shoulder into the ground on the right. So the more that you pull the toe up toward the left shoulder, the deeper the stretch, but you decide what you have. Couple more deep breaths. All right, bring your leg back up to center. And then we're going to cross that right heel, the right ankle over the left knee. Flex both feet, pull from behind the left thigh. Dig your right elbow into the right knee, creating space between the floor and the right knee. Try to keep your pelvis level, those hips level. Press the shoulders into the ground. All right, release. Put both legs flat onto the ground. The back of the head stays there. Just let your body kind of hang out in space a second. Yes, technically it's Shavasana in yoga. However, I have gotten to where I do really like to feel the body just lay down on hard ground, especially after a good stretch. You can feel what's going on. You can let it really relax. Just kind of get in touch with your physical self a second. All right, bring your body up to seated. Put the soles of the feet together. You can decide, you can wrap around your toes and pull the body forward, pushing your knees toward the ground, or depending on your flexibility or lack thereof, push your hands behind you into the ground to lift really high out of the hips. So if you find that you're really bound up in your hips and legs and low back and you kind of hunker down, use those hands to help lift up out of there. So you might even get your butt up off the ground a little bit using your hands. It'll help open those hip flexors a little bit more. Or if you have pretty open hips, just keep the butt on the ground, push the knees into the ground, pull over the body. All right, you guys did amazing. First day of our recovery week. Thanks for joining me. I feel amazing. I'm sure you do too.